Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm your host, Cole Denis, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rolling as the trade deadline has now passed and the Steelers very quiet during it. No trade drills yesterday. No last minute squeeze. So we did end up getting Duggar last week. That was the last move the Steelers were able to get before the deadline came to a close. He, of course, was a key participant in the win over the Colts. Came in huge on short notice. He came in and was able to be a consistent factor on the defensive side of the ball. Got consistent snaps in his first week, first 4 days here in Pittsburgh. But we were looking for a wide receiver, couldn't really find one or got outbid on summer sheets. So he goes to Seattle. Kobe Myers goes to Jacksonville. Two pieces we talked about often on the show, possibly being a Steelers target, and then doesn't happen in the end of things. We also talked about some defensive pieces. Quentin Williams ends up going to Dallas. Sauce Gardner moves to the Lions. So there were defensive pieces out there that mostly from the Jets being traded away that we could have matched up to help the struggling defense's inconsistent defense. It does seem like the Steelers front office and coaching staff have full trust in the highest paid defense in the league to figure it out after this last week against the Colts. I guess that helped ward off the doubts for a little longer. I mean, at this point, if the doubts start creeping, there ain't much you can do anymore because the trade deadline is now passed. Now, do I trust in our defense figuring it out, becoming more consistent? You can only hope at this point. I mean, there isn't much to buy into based on our season tally. It's been 50-50 at this point. We've had 4 good games, 4 bad games defensively. We've had 3 games where we've been very high turnover margins. We've been forcing a lot of turnovers. We've had 4 games where we've had a lot of sacks. And then the other 4, the defense has been abysmal. The defensive line wasn't showing up. The defensive secondary wasn't there. It just was overall lackluster in the defensive part of the game for the first half of the season. And we trust that it gets better. It's hard to say so considering the past couple of seasons when we've had stellar defensive play in the first half of the season. It feels like it declines later into the season just because of wear and tear. That's something you can expect. You can't. You should be playing the best in the beginning of the season because it is when you're the healthiest. Now, wear and tear is starting to build up. We got a lot of older veterans on the defensive side of the ball. Can we really trust them to play or show up consistently week to week? Can we trust them to hold teams under 30 points week to week? It's hard to tell going forward. All we can do is put our faith in this guy behind me, TJ Watt. We need TJ to show up consistently like he did against the Colts this past weekend. It felt like the TJ Watt of old that we were paying him to be. So hopefully, if he can play like that from here on out, we should have a good chance to make a splash in the playoffs this year for the first time since 2018, which would be wonderful to see. But it really does, at this point, come down to the defense. If they can get to the consistent, solid level of play once again, like we've seen for the past 4 years. I don't know what happens. It seems like the Tomlin curse that you can only get one side of the ball playing at a time. Let's move on to talking about the defense. Jalen Ramsey, like Tomlin announces that he'll be switching to the free safety position due to Deshaun Elliott's injury 2 weeks ago. We saw Ramsey play safety last weekend. Pretty good at it. He's great at everything he does. So Ramsey dropping back there. That's why we brought him in this offseason. We knew he was going to be someone that could bounce around, fill in position needs if someone was to get hurt, and that's what he'll be doing from here on out until Elliott possibly returns. We'll be holding down the free safety position. I know we have a couple other pieces we could use back there, but I do like Ramsey's ability to kind of be a box safety. You can use him down low, keep him in middle of the field. That's where we've been struggling all season long. I'd like to see him used in the middle of the field a little bit more so we're not having just big gaps of open space during the pass. We've been allowing so much over the middle of the field. We need someone to put an end to that, and Ramsey can do that from the safety position. Wide, he never had the opportunity to do that. So moving him to safety could actually really benefit this defense because that pass game over the middle of the field has been the downside all season long. It feels like any third down, you can expect something over like 10 plus yards in the middle of our defense, just wide open. It's been ridiculous. So hopefully Ramsey can help bring it onto that the safety position. Let's wrap up today's show with some midseason grades though, as we are exactly halfway through the season this Wednesday. So how did the Steelers grade out? What are my grades? First off, defensively, with them being so 50-50 this year, we've talked about it, so I don't have to go too in depth. We know why it's turned out this way, why the grade on my is that low. Because it just hasn't been consistent enough. The defense, the bar was set high entering the season. I was thinking all-time great type of numbers. Very bad. Nowhere close to all-time great type numbers. So I'm gonna give them a B minus. They've been able to work their way out of the F position after this great week against the Colts. It's just hard for me to see the consistency in being able to force 6 turnovers a game. Two of our wins against the better teams this season, the Patriots and the Colts, have come because we forced 5 plus turnovers. Is that consistent enough? I don't think so. So the defense grades out as a D minus. If they caught me last week, it would have been an F because we were coming off of 2 really tough games. So they went up this week, D minus for the defense. Moving to the offensive side of the ball, pleasant surprise offensively, in my opinion. We didn't have high hopes for the offense coming into the year. We just thought if Rodgers could manage the offensive side of the ball good enough, we'd win close to 10 games. And he's excelled at the quarterback position this year, really having a bounce back season after his 2 seasons with the Jets, which we could have expected. The Jets suck. They're a dumpster fire of an organization. So we should have expected Rodgers once he got into a well-run organization again to bounce back and have a good season, which he is doing. He's really leading this offense. Without him, we'd still be probably ranked bottom of the league in most categories offensively. So the offense has been a pleasant surprise. I'm gonna give them a B plus overall grade for the team at the midpoint. Going into the season at this point, I had us at 6-2, considering they are 5-3. An overall team grade I'm gonna give the Steelers is B minus because they have been pleasantly average. They're slightly below where I expected them to be, but pleasantly average so far this year. The defense has been somewhat of a letdown, but the offense has balanced that out by being better than we all thought. So like I said, they're ending up with a B minus through the next season point. But that has been it from Steelers latest. Let me know what you think the Steelers grade out as in the comment section below. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.